America, we are back, baby. Welcome to Monday's episode of America Unfiltered. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm very excited for tonight's show. It is a massive week in politics right now. This is the week that we do get the vote on the Epstein files. We'll talk about that briefly today. We'll also talk about Donald Trump's response that he sent out on Truth Social the other night about the Epstein files. I want to talk about his attack on Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie. I want to talk about Ted Cruz saying that he's going to run for president. This is fucked up. We cannot let this happen. Or at least we can't let him win. I mean, we could let him run, but we could let him embarrass himself trying to do so. Ted Cruz would be one of the worst presidents in American history. And not only that, he's not even a real American. This guy was born in Canada, and now he's calling himself an American. You're not an American, Ted Cruz. You will never be a true American. Don't call yourself one, and you will embarrass yourself if you try and run for president. We got a lot of things to talk about. I also want to talk about some more Epstein emails that were leaked. There was one crazy one that really caught my eye that I wanted to show you guys. I actually thought this one was a little funny. Maybe Epstein was based about a couple things, dare I say. I disagree with the guy. I disagree with all of his actions and disavow them, but we can acknowledge when we see something that's kind of based. So we're going to talk about the leaked Epstein emails. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, JD Vance, Tucker Carlson. We're going to talk about a lot today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we got a ton of comments. I think a record-breaking number, for me at least, record-breaking number of comments on Friday's episode. So I want to thank you guys for that, because at the end of the episode today, we will be reading and responding to every single comment that we did get. So again, please remember to like, smash the follow button, rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Remember to leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the show. We'll read all the comments at the end of each show. And scan the code up there. Join our Telegram channel to stay updated on all things America Unfiltered and America First. But with that, I do want to get right into the show. First thing we're going to talk about is Ted Cruz announcing that he is going to be running for president. I think this is fucking insane. I don't think anybody not born in America should be involved in American politics. And I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, but some people are like, oh, but Ted Cruz, he seems so patriotic. He's fighting against the left. He's fighting against men and women's sports. He's fighting for Americans. Is he fighting for Americans or is he fighting for Israel? We'll review that today. I got some clips from the Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz interview that happened months back that we're going to review today after we watch Tucker Carlson talking on Fox News about him running for president in 2028. I really think this guy's a fat, ugly joke. I do not think Ted Cruz has any credibility. I think anybody taking money from the Israel lobby and saying that they want to promote this Judeo-Christian relationship, saying that the Bible tells us we have to support Israel, is obviously very propagandized or just fucking retarded, because we all know that if you're a true Christian, you don't believe that you have to support Israel or the modern day state of Israel politically. I mean, that's fucking insane. Weaponizing the Genesis verse from a prophecy that's already been fulfilled by Jesus Christ when he died on the cross in the Old Testament just shows your lack of understanding about Christianity, Ted Cruz. It shows that you are just a shill, a paid shill, who is nothing more than a complete fucking hack. You are not a credible politician. Few politicians are actually credible, but you, Ted Cruz, are definitely one of the worst. You take a lot of money from AIPAC, you promote a lot of values that don't assimilate with American values, and you think that we should push a regime change war in Iran. How did it go with the last 6 regime change wars that we pushed in the Middle East? Did it better the United States or did it make us worse? Did it kill tens of thousands of Americans and waste billions, if not trillions of dollars? Ted Cruz wants that to happen again. And this is the guy who's saying he is now going to be running for president, opposing JD Vance on the Republican ticket. Fuck this guy. Fuck Ted Cruz. Fuck the idea of him running. Fuck the idea of anybody voting for him. This guy is one of the worst possible candidates America could ask for. He's taking money from some of the same donors that were trying to fund Nikki Haley's campaign when Nikki Haley was running. While we're talking about Nikki Haley real quick, I want to say, has anyone seen her son? Her son on Fox News? The guy's a total fucking groiper. I mean, we could celebrate that. Nikki Haley's son seems pretty based right now, and hopefully he doesn't get swept up in all the same bullshit that his mom has gotten swept up in, because she's a war-hungry hawk. All Nikki Haley wanted was wars, and wars for Israel. She did not want to actually support America. She would have been one of the worst presidents as well. Beyond her just being a woman, I mean, we're not going to have a woman president. I I promise you guys that. We are definitely not going to have a woman president. But she was also just a war hawk. We cannot have people who want to take money from the Israel lobby to go fight wars for Israel sitting in the presidency. Donald Trump did that, and we've seen how it's completely corrupted Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump took over $100 million from Miriam Adelson, over $200 million from AIPAC donors, and Donald Trump has now bombed Iran, buried the Epstein files, although the Epstein files seem to be up for vote and they will be released soon. That's a story we'll get into today. But Donald Trump has been doing a lot of Israel's bidding, and he has now had Bibi Netanyahu visiting 4 times in his first year sitting in the White House. This is crazy to me. I do want to show you guys this video real quick of Ted Cruz on Fox News. This is an interesting video. It's a very quick one. And then shortly after that, we are going to go into the cut-up clips from the Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson interview, where you could see Tucker Carlson dismantle the shit out of Ted Cruz. And if Tucker Carlson can do it, I would love to see this guy on a fucking debate stage try and use these talking points, because Ted Cruz just seems like a fat, ugly fucking moron and nothing more. And it's not to say I don't like anything he does. I mean, there's a couple things he does that I like, couple things that I can agree with. But him saying like, oh, like I'm fighting to get men out of women's sports and all, okay, like every fucking Republican is doing that. Everybody with just a little bit of common sense is doing that. You're not alone in that, Tucker Cruz. And that's not enough for us to be like, yeah, let's vote this guy into the commander-in-chief spot and let him go fucking bomb Iran for Israel. Let him go give a new MOU to Israel for the next 20 fucking years for $80 billion like they're asking for. It's absolutely insane that Ted Cruz thinks he has a shot. I do think, though, that Tucker Carlson could make a run for president, and I also think Tucker Carlson might even try and get on JD Vance's ticket in a VP spot. So that's something we're going to watch closely on this show. But I do see Tucker Carlson potentially putting his name into the political ring, not just in the media space, but in actual elections. So we're going to keep a close eye on that, but we are going to go over to our big screen here. We're going to watch this quick video of Ted Cruz on Fox News.
Be making some news. Axios led its morning newsletter with this headline: Scoop, Cruz eyes 2028 run. Senator Cruz, where are you on that?
You know, reporters are going to write headlines that get clicks and get eyeballs. I got a job. It's representing 31 million Texans, and it's fighting every day for 31 million Texans. And I'll tell you right now, the wins we are getting are historic. The one big, beautiful bill you were talking about just a minute ago, I was blessed to write major portions of that bill.
You might be making some news. Axios led its morning news.
So like a true politician, he goes ahead and he says, oh, it's just rumors, but he's laughing through it. We all know what this means. We all know that Ted Cruz is lining up for this. Or let me switch this back real quick. That he is lining up for the 2028 presidential run. He will not make it. He has ran in the last few elections, and he's had abysmal campaigns, and I don't think it will change for the future. And when he says we've had massive wins with the one big beautiful bill, was it a massive win to raise the debt ceiling by $5 trillion? Was it a massive win to give tax cuts to the billionaires but not help the average Americans? Was it a massive win to fund ICE to the tune of $150 billion, making them like one of the top 5 most funded military units in the entire world, but we're still not getting the deportations that we voted for? I don't see those as wins. And again, I'm for the funding of ICE. I would be 100% for the funding of ICE, giving them the $150 billion if it meant that we would get the millions and millions of illegal immigrants out of this nation. Right now, they estimate we have somewhere between 40 and 50 million illegal immigrants in this nation total. And just over the last 5 years or so, we have had over 14 million illegal immigrants come into this country. So I want to get those illegal immigrants out of our country. Americans deserve those jobs. American wages will go up. Housing will become more affordable. And this is something that a lot of the Republicans are saying right now. They're like, oh, we're doing so well on affordability in the economy. Are you guys feeling that? Are you guys feeling like the economy is doing well and things are becoming more affordable? Because I've heard from some of my viewers who said that certain things are getting a little better, but very few people are saying that it's the affordability that's getting better. I've heard some people saying like their No tax on overtime, that's a win for them. And I agree. No tax on overtime is a huge win. That should have been a thing for a long time. That no tax on tips is a win. I've heard that as well. That's a huge win too. I've heard from people that gas prices are getting lower. Although in some states, especially places like California, specifically in Los Angeles and a lot of these more liberal run cities and states, gas prices are not going down, they're going up. But there is a thing around the country where a lot of gas prices are going down. I mean, in my area, they definitely are. So that's a win. But at the same time, housing is going up, cars are going up, car premiums are going up, health insurance is going up, health care is going up. All these things are going up, not down, and it is becoming very expensive for people to live. And there was a poll that showed that most people over 50 are not seeing the economy, or are not looking at the economy and saying it's doing bad. But most people under 30 are saying that the economy is very bad. This is a huge problem. When the future of this nation is struggling, when older generations have left younger generations to starve and raped, robbed, and looted them of their rights and dignity to actually build a life in America, that is a huge problem, and it will lead to massive chaos in the future. I mean, if you want people to become radicalized, take away all their money, take away their ability to make a living, take away their ability to create a family, buy a home, and live the true American dream, because politicians will get on the stage and they'll be like, the American dream is moving to America and starting a business, and then you build a family. No, the American dream is being born in this fucking country and being able to make it in this fucking country. The American dream is not about immigrants. The American dream is about Native Americans like you and me, people who are born in this fucking nation who want to make America great again. And not in Donald Trump's MAGA way that seems to be dead, but in the way where we put America first in every way. America over every other country. American nationalism, Christian nationalism, where we get back to morals and values in this nation, where we restore the value of the dollar back in this nation through manufacturing, where we kick out the illegal immigrants, stop legal immigration, and we allow America to thrive and Americans to thrive. Because in America right now, Americans are not thriving. They are suffering right now. And I'm feeling the consequences of this as well. And I'm sure a lot of my viewers are too. We are seeing in real time everything around us getting more expensive. The housing market, we are completely priced out of it. And instead of fixing the actual problems that are causing it, they want to bring in more illegal immigrants. And they want to give tax cuts to the same companies that are buying up these single family homes in this country and then renting them back to you for double the price that you would have been renting them in the first place. It's so fucking corrupt. It is so insane that that's what's going on. And then they want to tell you, no, the economy is great. Affordability is great. Like, no, the fuck it isn't. No, you can't just lie to me and say the economy is great when we are suffering collectively as a generation. And it's not to say there aren't exceptions to the rule. I've heard from a few people who are doing well, who are in the Gen Z age range, but the majority of people are suffering. When you have 40% of a generation in their 20s borrowing money from their parents, and you have over 30% of them going back to move in with their parents, that is a fucking problem. And if our government doesn't do anything to fix it, we will start seeing the consequences of those issues shortly. I really think that Gen Z people are getting fed up. Gen Z people are not going to stand for this much longer, and they will continue to use their voices and engage in politics if this does not fix. I mean, the Republicans right now are really starting to lose a lot of support. And it's not like we're going to Democrats. We are just sticking to the America First side. They question a lot. They're like, why are people like Nick Fuentes so popular? It's because people like him are the only people in this nation. Very few people like him, but the people like him are the only people who are saying, Americans are struggling. Let's actually fix the real problems in America. Let's stop fixing the problems of Israel. Let's stop fixing the problems in the Middle East and South America and Canada and Africa. And let's actually put all our money towards Americans. Let's put all our resources towards Americans. Let's put all our political power into helping Americans. Not people like Ben Shapiro who are just like, oh, if you can't afford it, you should move. How about if Israel can't afford to live in the Middle East without our tax dollars? They should fucking move. How about that? But no, he doesn't want to accept that answer. That's anti-Semitic if you say that. But it's fucking insane that he has the balls to say that we should move, that we shouldn't be allowed to live in the cities that we grew up in. Because people like him are pricing us out of those cities. Because people like him don't want us there in the first place. It's so corrupt, it's so insane what's going on, and if we don't fix it, we really will start seeing real problems in this nation. I do want to show you guys this cut-up of Ted Cruz with Tucker Carlson. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the full interview. This is just some of the highlights. It's a about 8-minute video, but I put it in 1.25 speed, so it'll go a little faster. You guys really won't notice the difference too much, but it's going to go a little faster. And I just thought this was a good way to show that Ted Cruz is a complete fucking hack and a retard. He has no strengths in politics. I mean, this guy he's a decent talker at best, and that's it. That's all he has. Here we go, though. We're going to watch this quick video, and I'll maybe pause it, commentate on it a little bit.
That the single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is also America first. That's another way of putting that as well.
I think it's the definition of it.
I came into Congress 13 years ago
Yes.
with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird thing. The obsession with Israel, when we're talking about foreign countries,
hardly an obsession.
You're not talking about Chinese, you're not talking about Japanese, you're not talking about the Brits, you're not talking about the French. The question, what about the Jews?
You asked me.
That's the thing. It's like you criticize Israel, and they're like, "What about all the?" And like, we'll see, when we get to the comments later, you guys will see that because there's a lot of comments like that. They're like, because I was criticizing an Orthodox Jew practice of when a rabbi, I don't even know if I want to get it, but a rabbi in Orthodox Jew practice, when they circumcise a baby, they will put their mouth on the baby's private parts and suck the blood out of it. And I said that that's a pedophilic act. And then there's a lot of Jews in my comments who are like, oh, what about this in this country? What about this in this country? Like, it's like, okay, but the thing is, Israel has influence in America. They pretty much own and run our government and most of the media in our country. It's not like China runs most of the media in America. It's not like all these other countries that they want to name and strawman. It's not like they own, a lot of stake in American government and politics and media and academia and all these things. So they're always trying to deflect instead of actually debate the ideas. And you guys will see that when we get to the comments. The comments today are absolutely fucking insane. I'm so excited to get to them at the end of the show.
Why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government, period.
Okay.
Any government, including the ones that my ancestors come from. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Growing up in Sunday school, I was...
Not a whole... Exactly. Again, deflecting. It lobbies for Israel. Literally, in the AIPAC commercial, I could pull it up after this. In the AIPAC commercial, it literally goes, we want to fund pro-Israel candidates in America. Not pro-American candidates, pro-Israel candidates. And if those candidates are just pro-America but not pro-Israel, they won't fund them because it's an Israel lobby. If they were Americans and truly Americans and patriots, they would fund candidates who support America. But no, they only want candidates who want to fund Israel.
Taught from the Bible. Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the...
It's in Genesis, but... So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even...
And it's already part of the fulfilled prophecy.
Mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And
what does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
the
God's referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of...
I wish they were more effective as they're funding 90% of the House and Senate. What a fucking asshole.
AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
Objectively
When was
wrong.
the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay.
AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government. And I don't, it's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not, has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but
Great.
it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
It's not true.
No. And
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have with the government of Israel?
no idea.
My question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true. And why
because what you're saying is false.
Why aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not. It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
Tucker's great.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because,
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that
because if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
No,
You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a
saying
good
you
idea
don't
to kill
believe-
General Soleimani, and you said it was
don't
bad.
believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military...
I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing, but the background music, just the very subtle background music makes it so much funnier. It makes this so much better.
strikes against them in retaliation. And if
Okay,
you really
we
believe
are
that...
carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
We're not
at all.
bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
This is high
Israel.
stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war
we're-
with Iran right now, people are
What a
listening.
hack.
President Trump campaigned on ending the war. I think he's frustrated because Putin...
Guys, this is the future president of the country. This guy's a fucking idiot. I mean, if you guys don't... this is crazy. Anyone who thinks Ted Cruz would be a good candidate, no offense, you're kind of a retard. Not kind of, you're fully a retard. Don't go full retard. Never go full retard.
has been less than eager to reach a deal to end the war, but it's going to end. You're not going to see another
Do
dollar
you think
coming from
Zelensky
Congress.
wants to end the war?
I think Zelensky has behaved horribly. I think his Oval Office meeting will go down in history as the worst Oval Office meeting of any leader that has ever come to the Oval Office. I think he behaved like a pompous ass. And I think he is unrealistic. I think Zelensky spends his time with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the New York Times, and he believed he was going to the Oval Office as a resist figure. And I think he's doing real damage to his country right now.
You described him many times as a hero.
I don't recall ever using the word hero. I will say, look, I'm not a Zelensky cheerleader. I absolutely think we need to focus at home emphatically, and we need to focus on prosperity. We need to focus on reducing the debt, reducing spending, empowering people, low taxes, small businesses. American free enterprise. It's the most powerful force for fighting poverty the world has ever seen. I'm 1,000% there.
So what is it costing to support the bombing campaign to protect Israel right now from Iran?
So I don't know right now. You said the support for Israel very expensive. How much support do we give to Israel?
Well, you tell me. You vote for it.
Yeah, it's about $3 billion a year is the military assistance.
My question is about results
3.8.
because I think it's relevant to what we're seeing now in
And
Iran.
also, we sent them like over $30 billion in the last few years alone just for this bombing campaign, for everything. We funded the genocide in Gaza. We funded controlling Iranian and Israeli airspace during the 12-day war, and it's about to start again. It's imminent.
You look back after having you personally voted to send billions and billions and billions of U.S. tax dollars to Zelensky to support his civil service in the war against Russia and all this stuff. Can you say that what you did worked?
So I can say what I did personally, sanctioning Nord Stream 2 worked and prevented a war. And if Trump had still been there, if the sanction had been in effect, there would be no war. I'm in favor of avoiding wars.
You are saying we need to use military force to effect regime change.
I have not said that.
Oh, I must have.
No, I have not said that once.
Okay.
I don't think we need to use military force to do regime change. I said I support it. I would like to see it happen.
You said that the single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is also America first. That's another way of putting that
I
as
think
well.
it's the definition of it.
Yeah.
Does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other. And I
do.
assume all of our allies spy on us.
That's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all... Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's
why the free market
conservative to
works.
pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that human beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not.
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to do it. Of course they do. I understand that, and
by the way,
I'm not mad at them. But you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know. Hold on, I want to know your attitude. Yeah. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion.
I said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
The single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get huge benefits for it.
Wouldn't an American lawmaker say to a client state, you're not allowed to spy on us? I'm sorry, I know why you want to. I'm not mad at you, but you're not allowed to.
Sure.
And I don't care for it. I don't want to be spied on by you. It's kind of weird not to say that, but you don't seem able to say that.
Video by Tucker. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know that was a bit of a longer one, but I thought it was worth showing. I thought it was a interesting video that showed that Ted Cruz is just a complete fucking hack who does not have America's best interests in mind. What he does have in mind is Israel's interests. He has the interests of AIPAC, the American-Israeli Political Affairs Committee, who is funding the majority of Congress, the majority of people in the United States government to be pro-Israel, not to be America first. And to be honest, if you are America first, they do not like you. They think America first, American nationalism, goes against everything that America is supposed to stand for. They want to be a national state. They want to be a religious state, a Jewish religious state. But if you say American should be a Christian nationalist society, an American nationalist society, they're like, you fucking worthless anti-Semite. Like, it is so fucking ridiculous, the hypocrisy of the country of Israel, of AIPAC. Literally, people like Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene, we'll go over this in a bit when we talk about Donald Trump's reactions to them, but people like them are America first in almost every way. And I don't agree with every single thing they do and say, but we can all openly admit that they are America first. And guess what? They are two of the only people who do not take money from AIPAC. And that is one of the reasons that Donald Trump disavowed them. It is very crazy that we have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie getting shit on social media by Donald Trump, by AIPAC. And the reason is because Israel or AIPAC does not want America first candidates. They don't want candidates who support America. They want candidates who support America supporting Israel. They want us to benefit them. They don't want us to benefit ourselves because it's not an American lobby. It is an Israeli lobby, and they should be registered under FARA, and them not being registered under FARA is a huge violation of foreign lobbying within the United States. And if we don't fix that, we don't even really have a country anymore. We have a country that's been infiltrated. We're being raped, robbed, and looted of our rights, and we're being sold propaganda daily. And it's legal for the government to sell us propaganda because Obama repealed the Smith-Mundt Act in like 2011 or so. That made it so the government can now sell propaganda to the American people legally. Very absurd, very corrupt. I do want to keep going on with our show. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I want to show you guys what's going on over here. Let me get it pulled up. At the Jewish Leadership Conference held over the weekend in New York City, CBS News chief Barry Weiss, who's an Israeli spy, and Ben Shapiro, alongside virtually every other speaker, discussed the importance of disavowing Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and purging anti-Semites from the conservative movement. Barry Weiss even called directly upon Vice President Vance to disavow Tucker. This is the fourth major gathering of Jewish political and media elites since the Tucker Carlson-Nick Fuentes interview happened. Yeah, it's insane that you can't say organized Jewry is real, but the American Jewish Republican Coalition, these people, they've met four different times in the last few weeks. But no, it doesn't, guys, it doesn't exist. They don't organize against America's interests. They don't organize to take people and censor them. That's just a huge conspiracy. Guys, it's a massive conspiracy that's not real. Like, it's fucking crazy that they try and convince us that it's all conspiracy, that we're just anti-Semitics for saying it. No, I'm not anti-Semitic for saying that there are Jews in the media, in the government, who are working against America's interests and working for Israel's interests, because they want to take two people who are unequivocally America first, like Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, and they want to say, oh, we need the vice president to disavow these people. We need to censor these people out of the media. We need to criticize anybody who allows them to speak. I mean, literally, the girl from the Red Scare podcast who was on the show Secession, Her talent agency dropped her for speaking with Nick Fuentes on a podcast. How fucking absurd is that? And you're going to say, no, they don't control the media. What do you call this then? What do you call it when the people in the media meet up and they talk about purging anybody who speaks out against Israel or Jewish power? I call it being hypocritical. It's fucking insane. They want to tell you that it's not real while they're actively engaging in it. It's so fucking insane. It's crazy that they are trying to convince you that no, they're not working against guys. They're not. We're crazy for thinking they're working against us, as they're working against us right in front of us on video, on social media, as they're actively going in a cancellation campaign against Tucker and Nick because they disagree with their talking points. Instead of debating them, they just try and shut them out of the conversation entirely. Mark Levin was set to debate, or Tucker Carlson was going to debate Mark Levin at the at America Fest at the end of the year, this year, in, I don't know if it's Scottsdale or where it is in Arizona, but at the Turning Point USA event. And Mark Levin texted Tucker saying, no, I won't debate a Nazi. Like, fuck you, you're such a fucking idiot. Mark Levin is scared to debate Tucker the same way Ben Shapiro is scared to debate either of them, Tucker or Nick Fuentes. They would get dismantled by Tucker or Nick, because the difference is Nick and Tucker don't really pick a side besides I want to put Americans first, which is a very good position. While Ben and Mark Levin are like, no, we need to support Israel no matter what. We need to write them a blank check of support because we're Jewish. That's what they're saying. It's fucking absurd. They can never win the debates, and everybody who's like, oh, yeah, they should be doing this. We should be engaging in debate if they actually disagree. And if they had the correct position, then they would win those debates. And if they refuse to take the debates, it's obviously because they have the losing position and they know it. They know they would not win the debates. If Ben Shapiro, someone who's been doing this for decades, lost in a debate to Nick Fuentes, Ben Shapiro would have to move to Israel the next day. He would have no other options. And that's what would happen. Ben Shapiro would get the floor mopped with him if he ever tried to debate Nick. Because Ben Shapiro is debating a position that is not defensible at all. It is a position that says that Americans should suffer so Israel can prosper. Americans should die for Israel's wars. America should keep sending money to Israel even though Americans domestically are suffering. That's Ben Shapiro's position. You know, if you can't afford it, you should just move. But that doesn't apply to Israel. That only applies to Americans who are living in some of what was the greatest cities in America. It's absolutely fucking insane. The Republicans are most likely going to get tanked in the midterms because right now, every person in the Republican Party is putting all their effort into trying to cancel Nick and cancel Tucker instead of actually trying to focus on the elections, focus on what's going on in the country. It's very sad and absurd that we're engaging in this cancel culture bullshit that was a thing of the left. I mean, the left were the people who were trying to cancel us for free speech. The left was the people who wanted to take our rights of speech away. But now it's people like Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, Seth Dillon. They don't want you to be able to speak, and they don't want to engage in debates with pro-Israel or pro-American people, America First people. Josh Hammer specifically. Josh Hammer debated Dave Smith, a comic, and got fucking murdered in the debate by him. I mean, Josh Hammer is literally a political commentator, and he got murdered in a debate by a fucking comedian, a Jewish comedian, that he was like, you're an anti-Semite. Yeah, a Jewish anti-Semite. These people cannot win, and they can't win because they're debating a position that holds no water. They're debating a position that is so fucking utterly terrible and honestly disgusting. It's crazy that we have people trying to say that if you don't support sending money, sending weapons to a foreign nation, you're not America first. You're not a true patriot. Like, what? How about if you don't support supporting Americans, you're not a true patriot? How about if you support sending money overseas while Americans are suffering, you're not a true patriot? If your position is, I want to have a good relationship with this foreign nation thousands of miles away, that realistically has very little or nothing to do with the United States, you're not really America first. You're just a shill and a pussy and kind of a cunt. We're going to keep going on with the show, though. And I don't know, I thought this was, it's just crazy that it's like, they want to tell you that there's no organized Jewry going on and that you're an anti-Semite for calling it out. They want to tell you that they're not trying to censor people as they're actively in front of our eyes on video saying, we're going to censor these people. And they're actively meeting multiple times within a month to say that we need to engage in this cancel culture. We need to do everything we can to get more pro-Israel candidates in there. We need Miriam Adelson to dump millions of dollars to primary Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie because they're not pro-Israel. They're only pro-America. It's fucking crazy that anyone wants to defend this. We're going to keep going, though. I saw this, and this is another crazy thing because all the people in the media who are like unequivocally pro-Trump are now kind of flipping out because JD Vance and Donald Trump, since the Tucker interview, have refused to disavow Tucker or Nick Fuentes. And they know that if they do, they will not be able to win in 2028 or 2026. They know that if they disavow Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, if they disavow us, we will work against them. We won't go for the Democrats, but at the same time, we will put the pressure on the Vance campaign if he was to disavow the Groypers. We would put the pressure on the White House if they were to disavow the Groypers. We would use political power. We would use the power of debate and free speech on social media to show them that we are not willing to stand for anything besides America first, America only. And right now, Tucker Carlson's son, who works with JD Vance on JD Vance's staff, was being attacked, and they're like, he's posting anti-Semitic memes. I want to show you the anti-Semitic posts that they're saying. So we didn't vote for Trump because he was an obnoxious boomer. We voted for Trump because he was going to put America first, 100%. Where within this clip is he wrong? They're calling that anti-Semitic. How is that anti-Semitic to say that Trump isn't putting America first in every way when he's not? He's literally bringing in over 600,000 Chinese spies. He upped the H-1Bs. Kristi Noem said we've never been bringing in more immigrants than we're bringing in now. Like, what the fuck is that? We're sending money to Israel. We're trying to negotiate a new MOU with Israel to give them over $80 billion over the next 20 years and support them militarily in their regime change against Iran, which is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. But no, it's crazy. It's anti-Semitic for him to say that Trump isn't America first anymore. That's anti-Semitism now? And then another one. He goes, why shouldn't they be compelled like AIPAC to register as foreign lobbyists? That's anti-Semitic to say that AIPAC should register under FARA? That's fucking crazy. That's not anti-Semitism. That's just common sense. But they want to call him an anti-Semite because they're trying to ruin his career, get him fired. They're so used to the idea that you could just put a label on somebody and then you have to fire them. Like in the past, you could call someone a racist, you could call someone a sexist, you could Me Too them, you could call them homophobic, you can call them an anti-Semite, and immediately they would have to be fired or else the media would be all up in arms about it. But now it's gotten to the point where we have so many America First patriots and the America First movement is so fucking big and the Groyper army is so big that people can't afford to get fired over bullshit like that anymore. Politicians will, like in a few years, it will completely flip from what it was. Right now, if you don't support, or in the past, if you didn't support Israel, it was the death of a political career. I mean, it was the worst thing you could do for politics to get up on the mic and say, no, I don't support Israel, I only support America. That was the death of your political career. But now, in a few years, it's going to flip to the opposite, where it's like, if you support Israel, that will be the death of a political career. That will end a political career. It is flipping in the correct direction right now. And the people, the organized Jewry in our country, they fucking hate it. They despise it. And they realize that they're losing control right now. But yeah, they're trying to cancel Tucker's son who works for JD Vance. And JD Vance's response was, this woman right here tweeted, today we learned that Tucker Carlson's brother idolizes Nick Fuentes. Racism and anti-Semitism is a Carlson family trait. Is Tucker's son Buckley, who serves as JD Vance's top aide, also a vile bigot? America deserves to know how deep the Carlson's family ethnic and religious hatred runs. And then JD Vance goes right at this bitch, puts her in her place, goes, bitch, get in the kitchen. He goes, Sloan, whatever Jewish last name, is a journalist who has decided to obsessively attack a staffer in his 20s because she doesn't like the views of his father. Every time I see a public attack on Buckley, it's a complete lie. And yes, I notice every person with an agenda who unfairly attacks a good guy who does a great job for me. Sloan describes herself as a defender of Judeo-Christian values. Is it a Judeo-Christian value to lie about someone you don't know? Not in any church I have ever spent time in. I have an extraordinary tolerance for disagreement and criticisms from the various people in our coalition, but I'm a very loyal person and I have zero tolerance for scumbags attacking my staff. And yes, everyone who I've seen attack Buckley with lies is a scumbag. So JD Vance, instead of disavowing the Groypers, instead of disavowing Nick, instead of saying, you know what, this guy does support Nick, blah, 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 etc. You know, all of the same bullshit that Mark Levin, Seth Dillon, Laura Lute, like all these fucking shills are talking about. He's like, you're a fucking scumbag for shitting on this 20-year-old kid with a bright future. JD Vance, this is fucking based. And again, I'm still not fully on your side, JD. You got a lot to fix when it comes to the Peter Thiel connections, Palantir connections, weird connections within the government and lobbying, and your fast come up within the government, your 3 name switches, and you calling Trump Hitler to then be his VP. It all seems a little odd, but I will give you props where it's due. Very base, JD Vance. We have to be able to support behavior like this because this is fucking awesome, and this is a step in the right direction. Nick Fuentes gave a message to JD Vance on a show saying that if you disavow the Groypers, we will deploy to Iowa peacefully to the caucus states to work against you in the political votes in the election. And JD Vance seemed to have received the message. JD Vance is now defending Groypers who work on his staff. Groypers are all over this country. They are about 40% of the staff in DC right now, the understaff in DC. It's fucking awesome. Conceal your power level, folks. Get jobs in politics, get jobs in the Pentagon, get jobs in the White House, get jobs on political campaign staffs, get jobs in lobbying, even get jobs in the CIA, although that's a little untrustworthy sometimes, but still, you guys get what I mean. Conceal your power levels, get to high places in the country, and we are going to run this country inevitably. We will take this country and make it a true American national society, an America first country. And it is happening. Slowly but surely, it is happening. And I am fucking here for it. And not only did JD Vance refuse to disavow the Groypers and Buckley and Tucker Carlson, guess who else didn't? Donald Trump. He was asked about Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson's interview. He was even asked about his dinner he had with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago years ago. We're going to watch this quick clip from Donald Trump where he refuses to disavow them, which, again, we're giving props where it's due. I'm not with you on everything you're doing, Trump. There's a lot of shit you're doing that's not America first, but this is fucking based.
I've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide.
Get the word out.
People have to decide. The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
You yourself had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. What role should he play in the conservative movement?
Well, I didn't know he was coming, and he was with, as you know, somebody, Kanye.
Yeah,
and Kanye
don't dead name Ye.
Dinner, and he brought Nick. I didn't know Nick at the time, and he did. He came and, along with a few other people. He brought a few people with him. Meeting people, talking to people, like for somebody like Tucker, that's what they do. People are controversial. Some are, some aren't. I'm not controversial, so I like it that way. Okay.
What a video. What a great video. Again, so now we have the commander-in-chief and the vice president refusing to disavow the Groypers, refusing to disavow Tucker, Nick Fuentes, and the Jewish coalition, who is meeting for the 4th time, is freaking out about this. We saw them all freaking out on social media about it. They're now attacking him. Even the retards like Brillin Hollyhand are posting fucking clips of Nick out of context. Again, like we saw Ben Shapiro complaining, oh, they're posting my clips out of context. Here's the full context. After he clipped up all of Nick's shit out of context and posted it and was like, look how terrible this person is. Same thing Benny Johnson did. Brillin Hollyhand now jumped on the train. But we have the commander-in-chief and the VP who are now refusing to disavow Nick. That is awesome. That is based. That is something that gives a little hope in my heart, gives a little hope to me that the America First policies are coming and that the direction of the country is turning. It's turning away from this pro-Israel bullshit, this Judeo-Christian bullshit, because Judeo-Christian is just an oxymoron. I mean, it's completely ridiculous, the entire idea of it. It's not a religious idea. And for anyone who's like, oh, it's an old religious idea. No, it's not. I'd like you to find one place where that's noted as an old religious idea, because it was started as a political campaign to get Jews and Christians together post-World War II to work together. That's what it was. It was a political campaign and nothing more. Politics and religion are very different. And to say that it's a Judeo-Christian is this old school religious value that we need to keep today, like, no, the fuck it isn't. It's an oxymoron that has been used to weaponize Christianity against Christians to support the foreign nation of Israel, who spits on Christian missionaries when they try and go to the holy sites, who doesn't respect Christians, who took off the cross and bombed the only Catholic church in the area. That is who we're sending billions of dollars to, and that's who they want us to support with this Judeo-Christian bullshit that they talk about. And even people like Benjamin Netanyahu, he was asked in an interview just the other day as he was walking, people can go watch it, he was asked in an interview, he's like, what book are you reading right now? And he goes, oh, I'm reading a book about the Jews versus Rome. And he's like, we lost that one the last time, we need to win the next one. You guys see, like, they don't give a shit about Catholicism. They don't give a shit about Christianity. It's a war to them. This is a massive war to them that they know they're losing over time. And Benjamin Netanyahu does not want to lose it, and we will not let them win it. We will not let Israel take over the American political system and the American media system anymore. They can try to buy out the American media companies like they've done with TikTok, like they've done with CBS, Paramount, everything under it. They can try and continue to buy out the rest of the social media companies, influence people like Mark Zuckerberg, influence with Rupert Murdoch through Fox, but we will not stand for their bullshit. We will not allow it to happen. Gen Z is way too smart for that. And on the left and the right, Gen Z is linked on one singular issue. Do you know how hard it is to get people to agree on the left and the right about an issue? It is so fucking impossible. But the young people on the right and the left are linked up on one issue, and that is we do not support Israel. We do not support sending money to a foreign nation that is essentially a terrorist state. I want to keep going on with the show. I'm going to get our next thing pulled up here. And this right here, we're going to get into Donald Trump's statement he made about Epstein. But before we do that, I want to show this. And this is the reason that Donald Trump attacked people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie about the Epstein files. And then we're going to go into Trump's actual statement, and I'll break it down on what I find kind of fishy about the statement, because it doesn't really sit right with me. But Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, this and the Epstein files is why I'm being attacked by President Trump. It really makes you wonder what is in those files and who and what country is putting so much pressure on him. I forgive him and I will pray for him to return to his original MAGA promises. So Marjorie Taylor Greene takes $0 from AIPAC. Thomas Massie, again, takes $0 from AIPAC, but Donald Trump put out this statement. Did Thomas Massie, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr., because of the fact that he always votes against the Republican Party? Again, false. He's voted with the Republican Party on 92% of votes. I fact-checked that. Get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than an 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, you have a great life, Thomas, and his wife will soon find out that she's stuck with a loser. A very absurd statement for the President of the United States to make about somebody in Congress, especially someone within his own party who has voted with Donald Trump on 92% of the issues. But the issues he doesn't vote with Trump on is Israel and anything relating to that. He does not want to send money to Israel. He does not want to push a regime change war in Iran. And he wants the Epstein files to be released. All things that Donald Trump opposed. At least until recently, Donald Trump is now saying that he wants the Epstein files to come out. And that's what we're going to get into right now, because the entire thing seems really fishy to me. I'm going to read the statement from Donald Trump, and I'm going to break down right after what I find to be extremely fishy about this, because there's a lot of really weird things going on. Donald Trump goes, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democratic hoax perpetrated by the radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein. Are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relation to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. All I do care about is the Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bring down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investments into America, a record, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. So I want to break down a few things that really rub me the wrong way about this. The first thing I want to say is this seems more like a campaign speech at a Trump rally than it seems like an actual announcement about Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, him saying, oh, we are, which is the economy and affordability, like, how is that doing well? Like, I explained it in the beginning of the episode, and I've explained it many times before, but affordability is shit right now. I mean, the entire generation is priced out of homes. They're priced out of car insurance, health insurance, car premiums are going up. Everything is going up right now. Grocery prices are going up. Very few things are actually going down in price. So that part of it is complete bullshit. He talks about tax cuts. He gave the biggest tax cuts to billionaires and biggest tax cuts to corporations, not the actual Americans themselves who are the ones struggling. He talks about securing the border. He did that. He talks about deporting criminal illegal aliens. They're not doing enough of that. They only have about 300,000. The men and women's sports and all that, like that was already done. We don't need to continue to sign legislation, pass the legislation we've signed to get that done. It's absolutely, like, obviously I do not support that. I support them not being in these sports, but at the same time, to put that in this is just like a deflection completely. To say that that has anything to do, like that the Epstein files are distracting from that. The distraction came from Trump himself, and every point I'm about to make about this comes back to one simple idea, that Donald Trump should remove himself completely from anything having to do with the release of the Epstein files and the investigation completely. I think Donald Trump is muddying the waters with this. Donald Trump did something that made him so untrustworthy. Donald Trump campaigned on releasing the Epstein files to bury them himself. And then he even went as far as to say, there are no files. And then now he's saying, I want them to release the files. I mean, that is one of the craziest things to go backwards on, to say there are no files, and now saying he wants the files to be released. And this comes after the report that an FBI leaker said that they are going to, that Trump tasked over 100 FBI agents with going through hundreds of thousands of files and taking any file with Trump's name on it and delivering it right to Trump, saying this is a file with your name on it. That itself is straight corruption that needs to be investigated. Donald Trump he's really fucking this entire thing up, this entire Epstein investigation. And it's gotten to a point where Donald Trump has lied so much about it that even if the files came out and it showed no relation to Donald Trump, could we believe it? Could we actually believe it still? I think there would be so much doubt, not only from the Democrats, but a lot of people on the right as well, as to like, why did Donald Trump work so hard to bury the Epstein files and act like they didn't exist if there was nothing to show that he was guilty or even knew about it? Especially after Donald Trump's name was named over 1,800 times in the recent email leaks. I mean, that's an insane, 1,800 times Donald Trump's name was mentioned. But he's going to say that we have nothing to worry about. If you have nothing to worry about, it means you tampered with the files. Because at the very least, there probably is something pretty big to worry about with the Republicans. If no Republicans go down for this and only Democrats are, looked at in a negative light from the Epstein files, we will all be very, very suspicious, Donald Trump. So, and another thing he says is like, they can have everything that they are entitled to. Does that mean the files you remove they're not entitled to? Does that mean there are some files that the House Oversight Committee and the American people are not entitled to see? I understand we shouldn't be showing pornographic images. We shouldn't be showing anything relating to the children themselves in that way, and I completely agree there. But at the same time, Donald Trump's phrasing there is very suspicious, and it makes it seem like there are files he does not want out there that we are not entitled to see. So we have to question that narrative as well. A lot of this is completely untrustworthy. I really think that Donald Trump disavowing the two people on the Republican Party, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, who were pushing for the Epstein files to be released, is a massive sign that goes against what he's saying. Like, why did Donald Trump campaign so hard against these people and take money from Miriam Adelson, a pro-Israel shill, if he's not trying to protect anything or anybody? In my eyes, I think he is trying to protect Israel. I think he is trying to possibly protect himself a bit. I really don't think Donald Trump had sex with a kid. I don't think he did. I think there's a very low chance that Donald Trump had sex with a minor. But what I do think is Donald Trump definitely knew about it, and Israel is the one who ran the entire operation. And that is very clear from the overwhelming amount of evidence connecting Jeffrey Epstein to Ehud Barak, Jeffrey Epstein to the Israeli government, Jeffrey Epstein to Mossad, and Donald Trump being named in over 1,800 of the emails. Donald Trump being friends with Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump saying that he stopped being friends with Jeffrey Epstein after he found out that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking girls from Mar-a-Lago, but nothing came from that, and Donald Trump refused to disavow him earlier. So there's a lot of really corrupt things that make it so we can't be sure if we can trust Trump. The vote is tomorrow. The vote is tomorrow afternoon. They set the vote officially. And also, beyond that, Donald Trump opened the investigation into Reid Hoffman, Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and a few other Democrats because they were all named in the leaked emails from the House Oversight Committee. But those names were all mentioned less than Donald Trump's was. Donald Trump's name was mentioned over 1,800 times, the most out of any of the files, but he didn't want his own name to be investigated. Isn't that a little odd that he has every other name investigated besides his? It's fucking insane. And I made a whole Friday episode about this, but when Donald Trump opens the investigation with Pam Bondi into the Epstein files, it means that we can't get the Epstein files until after their investigation is done. So even if the vote passes, we won't see the release of the files unless they cancel the active investigation or they finish the active investigation. And like I said, it all comes back to, can we really trust the files when they come out after everything we've been told, after every lie we've been sold? Donald Trump campaigned on the Epstein files to be released, buried them himself. He was the president when Epstein was killed. He was the president when they were buried. His attorney general at the time was the son of the man who originally hired Jeffrey Epstein at the Dalton School, which is where Jeffrey Epstein started his, whatever you want to say, his attraction to minors, or it was probably starting before that, but that's where he had access to minors in the first place. He got fired for having inappropriate relations with 16-year-old students. And then beyond that, Alex Acosta's relationship to Donald Trump. He worked as the labor secretary to Trump, and he was the same one who gave the sweetheart deal to Jeffrey Epstein in 2007. And he said openly, Jeffrey Epstein was intelligence, and I was told to leave it at that. But no, there's no Epstein files. But now there are. Like, it's fucking crazy. Make up your fucking mind and then remove yourself from it entirely. Because the more Donald Trump meddles in this, like I said, it all comes back to the one big point that Donald Trump should remove himself from this entirely. Because the more Trump meddles in this situation, the more Donald Trump speaks about the Epstein files, calls them a Democratic hoax, says that there is no files, says there is files. The more he talks about it, the more he talks about it, the less we can trust him is the best way to put it. We really can't trust Donald Trump the more he speaks about it. It's kind of common sense at a point. If you think that the guy who buried the files said they didn't exist and then said that, oh, they do exist, I want everyone to vote on them, after he realized that the overwhelming majority of Congress was going to vote to release them, like that's kind of a guilty act. It's a very guilty act, actually. So we need to be able to call that out. We need Donald Trump to remove himself from this situation, although it's probably too late. I mean, the vote is tomorrow. But if Donald Trump didn't put out this message, didn't put out a bunch of other messages about the Epstein files being a hoax, not being a hoax, except like all the different sides he's taken on this, I think we would all be able to trust him a little bit more when the actual files were released. Because like I said, if Donald Trump is found guilty in the files, obviously it's going to be political chaos. But if Donald Trump is found to be not guilty in anything within the files, and there's like very little to no mentions of Donald Trump at all, we will all be very suspicious. And same thing for Israel. If Israel is not mentioned in a big way, or Mossad, or etc., we will all be very, very suspicious because of the amount of times Bibi Netanyahu has came over to visit Trump, Donald Trump's relationship with Bibi Netanyahu, the fact that they're both going back and forth, sucking each other off, saying, you know, Bibi's the best friend of the U.S. Donald Trump is the best friend of Israel. Like, what the fuck is that about? The fact that Donald Trump has this relationship with Miriam Adelson, where he's taking over $100 billion for his campaign, and then he's taking over $20 billion to run campaigns against Thomas Massie, against pro-America candidates who just want to put America first, not put Israel first. That's the reason Donald Trump is shitting on Massie and shitting on Marjorie Taylor Greene, because they are the candidates who do not want to support the Israel lobby. Over everything else, because Donald Trump opposed Israel and Donald Trump's stance on the Epstein files and on Israel. That is why Donald Trump disavowed them. It has nothing to do with their actual politics, because Marjorie Taylor Greene specifically has been Trump's #1 supporter, his #1 bitch, basically. She has been by his side through thick and fucking thin. She even leaked the text messages she sent to Trump saying like why we should release the files. And none of them had to do with Trump being guilty or Republicans being guilty. It all had to do with either burying the Democrats or Truth for the American People or the rape victims themselves, who are, to be honest, the people who are suffering the worst from this. I mean, the rape victims are having the president of the United States gaslight them into saying the entire thing's a hoax. Was it a hoax when they got raped? Was it a hoax when he said they weren't trafficking to anybody, but these girls are saying they were trafficked to people? Is that a hoax? Is that just, are they just lying now? Like, what the fuck is going on in politics that people are actually eating this shit up? People like the Misfit Patriot, Cat Turd, all these fucking retards on X are eating this shit up. Literally, I say this all the time, but Cat Turd, he'd get served a bowl of shit from Trump and he'd eat it with a smile on his face. The Misfit Patriot's a fat, ugly fucking retard who beat up an elderly person, a disabled elderly woman. So, yeah, these people are untrustworthy. The people who are speaking about how Trump is the most America First president, how Trump is doing everything right, how Trump is setting a trap against the Democrats. It's a cope. It's fucking bullshit, and it's lies, and it's political propaganda at its finest. I do want to keep moving on with the show. We're already an hour in, so I want to get through the rest of it to get through the count. We're going to have a lot of comments at the end of the show. I looked at how many we had. It's a fucking insane amount. Record-breaking numbers for the show, so I thank you guys for that. But I want to keep going on. I want to show you guys this video as well. This is a video that maybe you guys saw, maybe you didn't, but this is from, what is it, Friday it's from? And this is a video of a guy basically telling groypers that it's time to be feminists, you know, stop being men and start being feminists. And he thought he cooked with this one. He thought he was doing something that was gonna actually convince people to side with him. Like, this guy literally looks like the head of a penis.
Dear groypers, let's talk man to man, because you need to hear this. Not from someone trying to score points or go viral, but from someone who actually cares about where you end up. You've been told you're part of something bigger, that you found a tribe of men who see through the lies, who reject the modern world, who stand for faith, truth, and order. That's the pitch, right? That's what pulled you in. But here's the truth. You're being lied to. You're being used by a group of men who don't want to build anything. They just want to destroy. You've mistaken anger for conviction, cynicism for intelligence, and isolation for strength. But the men leading this so-called movement, your influencers, your online philosophers, they aren't building homes. They aren't building communities. And they certainly aren't building families. They mock the very thing that built civilization, the nuclear family. And they do it under the...
He like talks about they're not building families, they're not building homes. We've been priced out of the housing market. And I dare this guy, go marry one of these Gen Z sluts. Tell me how it works out for you. Let me know how it works out for you when she rips you off for everything you ever fucking worked for. Like, marrying a Gen Z woman is just like a death sentence at this point.
Banner of faith. They preach about masculinity, but don't protect, provide, or commit. They'll talk about virtue, then degrade women. They'll call for tradition, but their lives look nothing like their traditions they claim to defend. Faith isn't something you tweet about, it's something you live. And living it means walking humbly before God, honoring women as partners, raising children in truth, and serving something greater than yourself. That's what men of faith do. That's what builders do. But your leaders, they're phony. Why are you allowing this? You wouldn't let a football coach teach you how to play baseball, so why are you letting boys teach you how to be men? Why are you following men who've never led anything real? Not a family, not a household, not even themselves. Why are you giving your loyalty to people who never built a thing in their lives? Ask yourself this. What's the succession plan for your movement? What happens in 20 years when the men you follow have no sons, no daughters, no legacy, no family dinners,
Again,
no Sunday
retarded.
morning?
He's saying just because people our age aren't marrying Gen Z whores that they'll never get married or have kids. That's ridiculous. Again, that message could apply to women because women have a biological clock. Men could get women pregnant at almost any age. So again, he's speaking to men right now, but he's basically giving a message to the women, to the pussies.
Spent teaching their kids to pray. Who carries the torch when no one has passed it on? The answer is no one, because a movement without families dies in one generation. See, I can tell you this as someone who's lived on both sides.
Also, groypers is a Catholic movement. I mean, there are a ton of groypers who do have massive families. So this guy's also just making shit up at the same point.
The single man chasing ambition and the husband and father building a legacy. And I'll tell you, after my faith, the most rewarding thing I've ever done is raise my family. my wife, and my kids. They are my mission. They're the reason I get up in the morning, the reason I fight, the reason I care about what kind of country we leave behind. If your leaders tell you that marriage is a trap, that women are the enemy, that family life is weakness, run. Because that's not a movement of men. That's a cult of cowards. Real men don't run from.
Again, we're not saying that women are a complete trap. We're saying that modern day feminism is a complete trap, and a lot of these trad larping women who are complete and utter whores, who then want to call themselves like traditional Catholics after they have escaped their whole bullshit. Yeah, that's just a trap, and we're not going to fall for it.
From responsibility. They embrace it. They don't sneer at love. They protect it. They don't chase temporary thrills. They plant roots. And if you think that being a man is about being dominant, cold, or detached, you've bought into the same lies as the left, just wrapped in a different slogan. True strength is service. True leadership is sacrifice. True masculinity is the ability to control your impulses, discipline your desires, and love fiercely the people entrusted to your care. You've been told the world is lost, that all hope is gone, that society is too broken to save. That's convenient, isn't it?
No, that's not what the America First movement is. That's a black pill movement, and that's not what America First is. America First isn't saying that it's too broken to save. It's saying that right now the current system is fucked, and we are going to save it. Again, this guy is just a retard.
Let you off the hook, because if it's all hopeless, you don't have to build anything. You don't even have to try. But that's a lie straight from hell. The same lie every fallen empire tells itself right before it collapses. Our ancestors didn't quit when the odds were bad. They didn't sit around on live streams complaining about how women dress or how modern life is unfair. They worked. They fought. They built families, churches, schools, businesses.
Yeah, they didn't have to talk about how modern women were dressed because they weren't dressed like absolute sluts back then, and they weren't unmarriable.
They left something for you, and the question is whether you'll leave something for everyone else. You want to be countercultural? Then get married. Be faithful, raise kids, read your Bible, work hard, love your country, serve your neighbor. That's rebellion in a culture that worships itself and despises discipline. That's the kind of man who changes the world, not the kind who hides behind irony and outrage. And I get it. Some of you are hurt. You feel invisible. You feel betrayed by institutions that used to guide you, churches that got soft, politicians who lied, teachers who mocked your values. You have every reason to be angry, but don't let that anger turn you into the very thing you despise. Don't let bitterness steal your future. You've got time to turn around. To stop following the men who profit off your despair, the ones who preach hopelessness because it keeps you watching, the ones who tell you to tear everything down while they live off the chaos. They aren't your brothers. They're your captors. You want to know what real faith looks like? It looks like a father holding his newborn in the middle of the night, praying for strength. It looks like a husband working
Yeah, guys, that's what being a man... That's a woman's job. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? That's a woman's job. And he's like, man, if you don't do this, you're not a man. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? See, this guy's trying to get through to young men, but he's basically speaking to the women.
2 jobs to put food on the table. It looks like a man on his knees asking God to make him better than he was yesterday. You want to build a movement that lasts? Then start at home. Build a family, build a life, build a faith that doesn't just survive online, but thrives in the real world. Because this country doesn't need more loud voices. It needs more strong fathers, faithful husbands, and men who will choose creation over destruction. So dear Groypers, it's time to grow up. It's time to lead. You can keep following false prophets who promise power but deliver emptiness, or you can choose something real, something that outlives you. Stop tearing down. Start building. The fight for the future belongs to those who actually have one, and it's up to you. What a gift.
Yeah, fucking insane. I mean, him saying that we're not fighting for anything. We're fighting to make America better for the future generation, something that they are actively tearing down, which is America for the future generations. America's not getting better right now for the future. It's getting worse, and the America First movement is the only hope we have for it. And I'm not saying... like what he's saying, we're saying, don't have kids, don't get married, don't do that. What I'm saying is, don't marry a whore. Don't marry a woman who is a slut and now claims to not be a slut and claims to be a child of God. Don't marry a woman who spread her legs for a fucking rum and coke and someone who asked her what her major is. Marry a woman who has not spread her legs for anybody. Marry a woman who has only been on her knees for Jesus and not for some random frat guy. Is that a fucking crazy thing to say? Is it a crazy thing to say that if your wife dresses like a fucking whore, then it's not really your wife, she's just the town slut? Is that a crazy thing to say now? Because I don't think it is. He likes to like make these bullshit ass comparisons. Like, they weren't complaining about what women were wearing in the past. They were working hard. Okay, their women were fucking modest. Their women used to literally cover their hair, and their women used to wear modest dresses and stay at home. Now we have women who are so hyper feminist and so hyper inflated. Like, here's a crazy stat that just got released the other day. More men in America want to get married than women at this point. More young men want to get married than young women. And women are now just overinflated in the workplace. Women are trying to get into politics, trying to get into media, trying to get into all these jobs. And women have a gift that men don't have. Women are able to create, like, pop life out of their bodies. Here's something that some people will agree with. Maybe some won't, but I think most men will. If men had the ability to pop babies out of them, to create life out of themselves, like, men would have armies of children. If I could pop babies out of myself, I would literally have an army of kids ready to fucking rock and defend me every step of life. Like, are you kidding me? Men would have, men compete with each other constantly. That's, it's in male nature to be competitive, to have some form of a competitive instinct. Men would compete the amount of kids we had if men could just pop them out ourselves and we didn't have to listen to a woman bitch the entire time about it. Like, oh, I don't want to have another kid. I don't want to go through pregnancy. Like, men would have as many fucking kids as humanly possible. Men would push themselves to the brink of death having children if they could pop babies out. But women don't want to have them at all. And this guy's like, no, you need to go find yourself a woman who once was a whore but isn't anymore, and you need to start a family because I'm telling you so. The guy who looks like a penis. Like, fuck off, you retard. Fuck off. You don't have any credibility with the way you speak. And you're like, the most masculine thing a man can do is hold his baby in the middle of the night and pray. It's like, what? Like, I get the praying part, but that's a woman's job to hold the baby in the middle. Like, raising the kids? That's the woman's job. The man needs to sleep. He's got work in the morning, sweetheart. What the fuck are you talking about? That's crazy. We're going to keep going on. I just thought that was a crazy video I wanted to show you guys. I want to show you guys some more stuff we have. We only have a few more things run the back half of our show, and then we'll get to our comments. But this is a video. We'll watch the video. It's a Nick Fuentes clip. But Nick Fuentes basically talks about the difference in how they criticize Muslims versus if you criticize Jews. And then after, I want to show like Laura Loomer's response is just so hypocritical and retarded, and it's crazy, and it just kind of proves the point that Nick is trying to make. And Mehdi Hassan is bitching like, Mehdi, you're not a real American. I don't know how many times I have to say it to you, buddy. You are not a real American. We would do just fine if you left. You are not a real American. Muslims who immigrated to America are not real Americans. You are not. I'm a Native American, and you, sir, are a fucking shill. We're going to watch this Nick clip, though. Another Nick W.
Those people that are criticizing Israel. Because to say it's about Zionism or about a genocide is really just not even the whole picture here. So Dasha Nekrasova got fired by Hollywood for hosting an anti-Semitic person that says Jews run Hollywood. Insane. But we all know this is how it goes. We all know this is the way it works. And you have to consider the following. When Trump got elected, there was this feeling that cancel culture was over, right? Am I wrong in saying this? A year ago, I think you could even say it was the consensus that comedy had been legalized and cancel culture is over, and a spirit of liberalization, and by that I mean openness, had come to America. That we'd emerged on the other side of the woke, cancel culture, political correctness, the peak of that, which might have been reached, let's say, arguably in 2022 or 2023. And this had a lot to do with Elon acquiring Twitter and other things. But what we have seen ever since then is that was really just half the story. Cancel culture did not end. It ended about certain topics. You have license to be cruel to brown people. Am I wrong? That's what that meant. When people said cancel culture was over, it meant that you can say offensive things about black people again, about brown people, about Muslims. And our Republican Party and our Republican government and the conservative movement was willing to look the other way. They said, now we're willing to tolerate cruelty and abuse and stereotypes and jokes and offensive things and maybe, a degree of identity politics from white people and against non-whites, the third world, Muslims, barbarians, even about women. J.D. Vance said that it's liberal cat ladies. It's white liberal cat ladies that he hates the most. They're the biggest problem. So they tolerated all this offensive stuff against every other group. But what was happening all the time is that, of course, the deal is that you could never criticize the Jews in Israel.
Yep.
So the left can hate on white people. The right can hate on non-white people, but nobody is allowed to say anything about Jews. Nobody is allowed to say anything about Israel. And isn't that fucked up? I don't care if you're from the right or left. or you're white or black. We can all agree that that is basically the arrangement. The left hates whites and the right is very offensive towards non-whites. That's fair to say. I say nigger on the show. I know black people are offended by that, I'm sure. And black people on the left say very offensive things about whites. And we're fighting each other. The right is fighting the left is fighting the right. The whites are asserting identity politics against the non-whites. The non-whites are asserting their grievance politics against the whites. And you know who sits outside all of it? It's this other group. And they will lean in on either side. Stephen Miller will lean in and attack white hippie boomers that suck and Hispanics. And you'll have Jews on the left that'll attack, white people, and Jews on the right will attack black people. But the one group that is totally outside criticism, the one group that is totally outside accountability is Jews. If you talk about the way they're organized, the way they behave, you get fired. You lose your job. And by the way, this is what Ye was talking about a few years ago. He was talking about it this year. He said, if I make a song about killing black people, it goes triple platinum. If I make a song about being a gangbanger and killing black people, other black people, and abortion and violence, then I'm a triple platinum recording artist. I'm honored at the Grammys. I'm honored at the White House. I'm honored by Rolling Stone magazine and the New York Times. If I make a song called Heil Hitler, well, the rest is history. Isn't that interesting? And it goes the same way in the right wing. Let me ask you this. If I went live on my show on Monday, this coming Monday, and I said, fuck Islam. I said, these Muslims need to go home. Fuck them. They're barbarians. They're third worldists. They like to live in open sewage and bomb crap. You think any conservative would disavow me? Any of them? Any Republican? You think if I was known for saying that, do you think I would have any trouble getting into CPAC or the New York Young Republican Club Gala or the GOP? Of course not, because Laura Loomer has access to the White House and she says stuff like that. Ben Shapiro has access to Trump and he says stuff like that. Could you imagine? Not to be a boomer here, but could you imagine if the shoe were on the other foot? It has to be left unsaid. Could I turn around and say F Judaism and those Jews and send them back to Israel? Like, it's literally unthinkable to even say the words. But we all know it's tolerated with Muslims. We all know it's tolerated with blacks. We all know it's tolerated with Hispanics, Asians. And yes, for far too long, it was tolerated against whites and Christians. And that's just the part that got left out. But now that we have this culture of liberalization and political correctness is dead and racial humor is back, everybody's engaging in it. But if you say anything about them, it's a big problem. Even if it's, as we talked about with this idea of a global Jewry, oh, now it's anti-Semitic? Now people are going to lose their jobs again? Here's the point. Cancel culture never ended. Cancel culture was always about this, and I think people even underestimated that.
Yeah, and I want to show you guys the response from Laura Loomer, which I thought was crazy. She goes, opposing Islamic immigration and jihad isn't anti-Muslim bigotry. And I go, is opposing Israeli immigrants and Judaism anti-Jewish bigotry? They will never answer that question, though, because, again, they're so fucking hypocritical. They'll literally say, and again, I'm not saying I disagree with them, but they say crazy things about Muslims. They say crazy things about the Muslim countries, the Muslims themselves. They criticize their practices, and I agree with almost all of it. You know, I criticize them as well. I criticize their countries, the people, the practices. But if you were to say that about Israel or Israelis or the Israeli shills in the media, you would be labeled as an anti-Semite. You would be labeled as all these crazy things. They don't care if you're Islamophobic as long as you're not anti-Semitic. That's the crazy irony and hypocrisy in all of it. It's fucking insane that these people do not see how dumb they actually are, like Laura Loomer. We're going to keep moving on with the show, though. I saw this. This is crazy. Country music sensation Alexis Wilkins is Kash Patel's very, very alleged honeypot girlfriend. Very alleged. Country music sensation Alexis Wilkins has reportedly been assigned to her own FBI SWAT team, a protection detail funded by the U.S. taxpayer, so funded by us, and arranged by her boyfriend, FBI Director Kash Patel. The agents protecting Wilkins are drawn from the Bureau's Nashville SWAT unit, trained to handle major incidents like mass shootings and terrorist attacks. Wilkins is neither Patel's spouse nor living with him. She does not even reside in the same city. So, United States taxpayer dollars are funding to protect this woman because she is suing Elijah Schaffer for $5 million for posting a picture of Kash Patel and Alexis Wilkins. He didn't even say anything. He didn't even say that she was a honeypot. He literally just posted the picture. It's fucking insane. My tax dollars should not be protecting this woman. And again, if this woman wants to hire her own private security, she's empowered to do so. I don't think people should be threatening her, and I disavow anyone threatening her. But at the same time, I'm unwilling to allow my tax dollars to go fund this fucking woman and Kash Patel's escapades. I mean, he used taxpayer dollars for a jet for her. He's now using taxpayer dollars to fund her security, and it's not even his wife. This is just his girlfriend. Like, this is fucking crazy. It's actually insane. I do want to keep moving on. I have two things I want to show you. One is this Jeffrey Epstein thing that I was talking about in the beginning that I noticed. And then I want to show a clip that supports Jeffrey Epstein's findings. So Jeffrey Epstein in a leaked email discussed genetically engineering black people to make them smarter, discussing how whites had evolutionary pressures that rewarded long-term thinking over rapid muscle development. So Jeffrey Epstein was based on IQ and race, which is what we're learning is, again, I disavow Jeffrey completely. Jeffy, I disagree with you on everything you did when it came to having sex with the kids on the island, trying to blackmail politicians, working for Mossad, but Jeffy, you're red-pilled on race? Jeffy's based on race, guys? King Jeffrey Epstein, the king of handjobs, is based on race now? Crazy, crazy, crazy. And for people who are like, oh, that's not true. That's not true. They're not lower IQ in any way. Tell that to the kids in Chicago who literally can't read. And tell that to women like this right here. This woman is twerking at a funeral right in front of the casket. This is crazy high IQ behavior though, guys. I mean, this is crazy high IQ behavior right here. This woman. Like, what the fuck is this? This is actually fucking insane. This is literally insane that this is real. In front of children as well. Like, what the fuck? Fuck that shit. Fuck that. Like, it's crazy. But Jeffy's based on race, guys. Jeffy's based on race. That's the one thing we'll give him. The one positive about Jeffy is he knows what's up. He knew what was up. He saw it before any of us did. It's crazy, right, guys? Crazy. But that's been the entire show for the day. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed Monday's episode. We're going to get into our comments in a second. I want to remind everyone to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the show. Please rate the show 5 stars on Spotify, follow on Spotify, and join our Telegram channel as well. Stay updated on all things America Unfiltered and America First. I am going to get our comments pulled up here really quick. Okay, I got them pulled up here. We're going to get right into these comments. Let me get set up with my headphones here. Have them read them. We got a record-breaking amount of comments on this episode, so buckle in, folks. Hope you guys enjoy.
Question: what's more acceptable for America First? A naturalized American Muslim from Iran with good morals, or a third-generation American who was born and identifies as a Catholic but don't really give a shit about any god? Don't say neither, as there will surely be a few of the latter infiltrating the movement, so which would you prefer?
If they don't support a god, then they're not actually Catholic. That would be, I mean, that's ridiculous to say that they're Catholic, but they don't support a god. That would go against Catholicism. But if we're gonna, like, if you're just saying like a white guy who doesn't believe in God, like not a Catholic, who is better, I would want, like, what's better for what? Like just America in general, or for America First? I would say the white guy who, I would probably, like, if we were to change what you're saying to, like, instead of a Catholic, because when you say Catholic who doesn't believe in a God, that's just a ridiculous statement, because that goes against Catholicism. If you're a Catholic, you believe in Christ, you believe in a God. But there are just white people who identify with the America First movement, which is a little different. So to turn it to that, I would say that person, because we don't need more immigrants in this country. And it's not to say that, you know, all people who come from these countries and have good morals, etc., are going to be bad, but especially when you bring in, like, the Muslim, it's like, what morals are you talking about? Are you talking about good Muslim morals or American morals? Because Muslim morals, you know, follow the Quran, and the Quran says you could have multiple wives, you could beat your wife, essentially. Their prophet Muhammad married a 6-year-old and raped her at 9 years old, so, you know, I don't think that assimilates well. So if you were to change what you're saying to like a white person instead of Catholic, who doesn't believe in God, because that's just a ridiculous thing to say, I would go with the white person. But if you're going to say like someone who's LARPing as a Christian, like they're saying they're Catholic, but doesn't actually believe in God, I would probably go with the latter. I'd probably go with the guy from Iran, as long as he's actually assimilating into American culture and realizes that America is a Christian nationalist state, or it should be, even though he's a Muslim. Like people like Myron, like Myron Gaines is a Muslim, but he understands that America is a Christian nation. That's a positive thing. Like I don't hate Myron. I actually really like Myron. So I'm not saying they're all bad. Obviously there are some based ones, but the people who engage in like some of the corrupt practices, I don't really fuck with for the most part. I don't love the phrasing of the question is kind of where I have the problem with it. It's not I don't want to give a straight answer. It's just the phrasing is just weird and bullshit. Let's see. Next comment though. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate you tuning in.
Going to war for Israel would be awesome because I would then have access to all of the locals' frog face.
Yeah, you want access to all the local Israeli women? There were some responses to the comment. Let me get them pulled up here. Fidel wanted to... Dude, Fidel and some other Israeli shills said some crazy shit towards the end of the comment section. So if you're like, should I stick around? Should I not? Trust me, you're going to want to stick around to see these guys defend some crazy shit. Let's see. Here's Fidel's response.
You mean Israelis? Let's just establish they are hot. I'm sure James P. even will agree.
No, I don't agree. I do not. That Israeli women are hot? Nope.
Damn, you're just into straight white girls who will serve you at your command.
That would be nice. A white girl who would serve me at my command? Where is she? Where is she? I would love that. I can't find her anywhere, though. Can't seem to find her. I would love to, though. I would love to get married and have kids and have a white woman who would raise the kids and stay home, but doesn't seem to exist around here. Definitely not going to find it in Israel, though. I appreciate your comment. We're going to keep going on.
Yeah, white tweakers don't commit crimes. Loudly crying face.
I don't know if you're saying that sarcastically, like white tweakers do commit crimes. What are you talking about? Drug addicts are committing a crime actively when they're doing drugs. And I lived in West Virginia for a bit, which is full of meth heads, full of white meth heads who are constantly causing chaos. And it's really fucking annoying to deal with. I never said white people don't commit crimes, if that's what you're trying to say. White people definitely do commit crimes. It's just per capita a lot less than minorities. This guy gave an awesome one. This is from a quote from a old veteran.
This country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, we need to fix it. I remember, I don't know if anyone saw that video. That video is sad. I mean, that old guy crying, he's like, the men that died, they didn't die for this. This country's going to hell. Going to hell in a handbasket. Sweet video of an old guy. This is the guy responding to Trump about the Epstein files. Appreciate you commenting.
They're just going to cook the books and destroy the evidence that makes them look non-complicit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say as well. Like, the longer they have pushed the lie that the Epstein files are fake and it's all bullshit, blah, 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 the more it seems like they're just running a fucking operation on us. Fidel commented again. We're going to go to that. I appreciate your comments, sir. Fidel. You might be a lost cause, Fidel. I thought there was some hope for you. You might be a lost cause after I saw the comments today.
You should take your show down because Trump said to release the Epstein files so we see you're all a scam. I will take pride in saying I already knew that you were lying, but for all your followers, they can see the truth.
Dude, do you think my followers are as retarded as you? My followers can call out the fact that Donald Trump buried the Epstein files, oversaw the death of Jeffrey Epstein, is pictured multiple times with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump said that the files were fake, only to now say that the files do exist. You're kind of a retard, Fidel. We're going to go to the replies on your comments. Let's see.
If he is guilty, no matter what, he would never say to release them, even if the House is going to vote that they should, cause when he says to release them, that means if it comes down to and they need a signature to release them, he will, like we all say. Trump is king. Even the Democrats know this. They say no kings, but at least they agree he is just kidding. It's a joke. Let's see if you know how to take one.
First of all, Christ is king, not Trump. Trump is not king. Second of all, Donald Trump has had months to scrub the files, and so has Israel. You know, it's just that it's such a retarded cope, your entire fucking comment. We're going to keep going on with the comments, though. Appreciate you still tuning in, Fidel, even though I find you to be kind of fucking stupid.
Spotify randomly played your show after Tim Dillon a few weeks ago, and I've been hooked ever since.
Let's go.
Your show is based. Praise the Lord. Keep up the good work.
Praise the Lord. God bless you. I'll pray for you. Thank you. That's fucking awesome. Spotify randomly played it after Tim Dillon. Let's go. I must be doing something right if I'm getting recommended to people right after Tim Dillon show. Love the Tim Dillon show. It's very funny. Glad you're hooked. That's awesome. Hopefully I keep you hooked. Hopefully I keep you on the line here. Hopefully you enjoy the episodes. Rate the show 5 stars if you haven't yet. I'm sure you have if you enjoyed the show, though. But thank you for the support. I truly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. We're going to keep going on with the comments. Again, we got a fucking lot of these comments. Over 90 comments total.
They wanted nothing to do with investigating, until the vote came to show the files. Then all of the sudden it's under active investigation. LMAO. Bro, you'll never put faith into another politician. Ever again.
Fidel's like, just for your followers to see that you're a liar. Like, Fidel, you're a fucking shill. You're a hack. You're a retard who is literally like, your followers are going to see you're lying. No, we're seeing that Donald Trump is lying. It's fucking obvious, and you're retarded. Yeah, trusting a politician, though. I agree with what you're saying. Dude, trusting a politician is a very hard thing to do, and that's why we liked Trump in the beginning. Like, in 2016, Trump wasn't a politician, and that's what we liked about him. And now Trump is nothing more than a shill, and a shill for his donors and foreign nations, etc. It's fucking crazy. I appreciate your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the support. I'm going to keep going on with the comments. Here's our next one.
So, as a Gen X guy, first let me say, I feel for the Zoomers. Your generation is getting a raw deal. The trickle-down effects of the early socialist policies has become an avalanche, burying you. The people that implemented it are still in control. My gen got passed over and crushed when we brought up the same issues. But the two main threats, aside from the rise of communism here, is Islam and China. In that order, Israel isn't even a blip. We send more to foreign LGBTQ than Israel.
Dude, it's not just about foreign aid. It's about lobbying, control of our government, and foreign wars. To say that, like, Islam is in control is, like, I'm going to be honest. You were really nice to me, so I'm going to try and be really nice to you back, even though I disagree with you. That's a really Gen X and boomerish take to say that, like, Israel is not something we have to worry about, because you guys were sold a bill of lies when it came to the war on terror. You guys were told that it was Muslim countries who were attacking the United States because of our freedom, and that's why they took down the towers. When overwhelming evidence shows that Israel and the United States were in on it, overwhelming evidence shows that they didn't. Like, even if you were to go with the narrative that Muslim countries did attack us and it wasn't an inside job, from Osama's own mouth on video, they said it's because of our relationship to Israel. And the reason we have this shit relationship with a lot of Muslim countries is because we support Israel, and Israel has destabilized the entire Middle East. And does Islam and China lobby all our politicians against the United States to work against America's interests? No. Am I saying they're not things to worry about? No, they definitely are. But Israel is fairly above that. I mean, and again, I would flip the order of, like, Islam and China as well. Like, China's a generational country that, like, passes their values along generations in the way the United States does not. And they are winning the long-term generational war against us. So I would rank it Israel, China, Islam. I would not rank it in the order you said. I'm trying to be respectful because you were very respectful in your comment. I do like to engage in the debate. Yeah, I do think, like, a lot of the foreign aid and, like, the money we're sending overseas, especially for woke shit like that, that obviously is a problem, but the foreign aid isn't even the biggest part. Like, realistically, like, the $3.8 billion we send here to Israel is not that much money, although it is a problem. The problem is the lobbying. The problem is that AIPAC isn't registered under FARA. The Islamic countries are registered under FARA. China lobbyists are registered under FARA. The Israel lobby is not. That's a big problem. We're also not going to fight wars for these Muslim countries. We're actually fighting the Muslim countries for Israel, and we're spending trillions of dollars on the military for that. We're spending billions of dollars, sending it to Israel directly, controlling the airspace, bomb campaigns, etc. But yeah, China's definitely a problem. I mean, they're a manufacturing superpower, and manufacturing is key to being able to longevity. And the United States has lost all its manufacturing power, and we've shipped it out overseas, which is a huge problem. You are right about that. But yeah, I disagree with the comment for the most part, but I appreciate your perspective on it. I mean, I'm willing to engage more in a debate about you with this if you like, if you want to comment again or message me or whatever. But I don't necessarily agree with the original statement. Like, I'm not saying that those things aren't problems. It's just that they're not the biggest issues relative. Like, you know, if Muslim countries were trying to lobby the American politicians in the way Israel was, then maybe, but they're not. And they're not getting away with it at that level. And like, a lot of it comes down to like the free speech aspect too. It's like, kind of like Nick said, it's like you can criticize these Muslim countries, nobody gives a shit. You can criticize China, nobody gives a shit realistically anymore. Like maybe 10 years ago, but now nobody gives a shit. Laura Loomer literally says Muslims shouldn't be allowed in the US. Could you ever say that about Jews or Israelites? No, you couldn't. And that's because who controls the media? Who controls the government? Israel. So that's why I think it's a bigger problem. We're going to keep going though.
This is a really weak episode. You sound like a Democrat. You have zero proof of anything. Everything you spoke about today was supposition. You can do Beetle.
Yeah, I mean, saying like criticizing Trump is not a Democratic move. Criticizing Trump is just an American. Like, if you're an American, you have the right to criticize anyone in politics, no matter what political party they align with. That's where I disagree with you. And saying I have zero proof. Well, that was on Friday's episode. What was Friday's episode? I was talking about the Bubba thing. I'm making fucking jokes. Do I think Trump actually blew Bill Clinton? Probably not. Do I think it was a funny joke between Epstein and his brother? Probably. But still, it's an interesting thing that that's even in the fucking emails that they're saying, does Putin have the video of Trump blowing Clinton? Like, that's fucking odd. But no, it's not a Democratic move to say that, you know, I disagree with Trump and Trump might be aligned with the Epstein files. That's just a ridiculous take. So sorry to say that. Yeah, that's ridiculous. We're going to go to the next comment, though. We're going to keep moving.
Israel files.
Yep, there are the Israel files. It's the Epstein Israel files. Thank you for your comment. Completely agree. Here's our next one.
Yes, totally agree.
Yep, thank you. Another person who agrees. Oh, yeah. Another person who... Again, people love this right here.
It's called Israel Files.
Yep, they are the Israel Files. Here's our first little thread we're going to go through. This is from the guy Dave, who has the IDF picture as his profile picture. This is one of the guys who, again, stick around to the end. You'll see this guy defend some crazy, disgusting shit.
Do you support the idea of a Jewish state in the historic land of Israel? If yes, why then are you not considered a Zionist?
And I said, no, I don't. I maybe support a 3-state solution, but maybe we would really have to work it out.
Bibi today said he wants to stop U.S. aid. What do you say about that?
I would say as long as we stop the military support as well, because again, the $3.8 billion is not a lot compared to the money when it comes to the military support. That's where the real issue is. So I would support that completely. But it also doesn't mean Bibi goes unchecked. That's also like a crazy thing that like Zionists seem to be missing. They think that if the United States wasn't funding Israel, the United States would have no business in policing like what Israel was doing. If Israel was going and committing genocides around the world, it would be some countries' duties to not only stop it, but to go to war with Israel directly or to get involved in some way. Although I don't want to be involved in foreign relations, that's just the reality of politics. So it's like they live in this fantasy world where they're like, maybe if we stop taking money from the U.S., we can then just go take the Gaza Strip and, do the ethnic cleansing we've been trying to do. We can, push the Iran war. We could do all this shit. It's like, it wouldn't go unchecked realistically if the right people were in power. But yeah, I do support the U.S. pulling all funding and military support. But it's like, if you just pull the funding, but you still give them military support, it's like, what the fuck? And also at the same time, if we did that, we would need to force them to sign on to the nuclear treaty, because them not being signed on to the nuclear treaty is a massive problem. And someone else goes, he probably doesn't. I'm not going to play that one out loud. Here's this... Dude, like people counter-signaling Nick over retarded clips. So retarded. But here's one.
Look up some of the things Nick Fuentes has said about girls.
Dude, like I say a lot of shit about girls. Shut up. And also, like, he's specifically commenting on one video Nick made that was a joke, and it's like, dude, if you can't understand a joke from reality, you're kind of retarded.
You should focus on criticizing Star and Crescent more than Star of David because many of the things the Talmud mentions are actually practiced in the modern age by Muzzy and not by Star of David.
Dude. Again, I criticize both. I can criticize both. The difference is when I criticize Muslims, no one gives a shit. When I criticize Israel, I have people like fucking Dave and Fidel and possibly you just being annoying as shit in my comments.
Strictly forbids sexual activity with a prepubescent child. Even if a marriage contract, kiddushin, was made for a minor, consummation could not occur until the girl reached physical maturity. There is no minimum numerical age, but the rule is physical signs of puberty required. Talmud, Shtei Sirat, 2 pubic hairs. Violation equals grave sin, and is explicitly prohibited in rabbinic law.
Like, I don't even... Okay. Like, dude, you're so fucking annoying. Do I even need to respond? Let's see. You commented a couple more times under this thread. Let's get your comments up here. I think you deleted one of your comments, actually.
That's not something he joke about, though. I think he is either a troll, a homo, or a pedo from what I have seen.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with trolling. Who cares if he's trolling? I troll on the show. Like, dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up. It's just painfully annoying to, like, deal with people who don't get jokes. We're gonna keep going on with the comments, though.
My friend Josh has been warning me about this Rabbi Shmuley guy for years.
Creep.
You should look into him more. You are doing a great job and a great service to steer the youth of this country in the right direction. Keep it up. America first.
Thank you. Let's go. America first, bitch. America fucking first. I appreciate the support. Every time I get a comment like that, it really warms my heart. Makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing here. So I really appreciate that. That's really awesome. And yeah, Rabbi Shmuley's a fucking freak. I've done some digging into him, and I'm continuing that as well. Fucking weird guy. Fucking weird guy. This comment right here, our next one, is fucking stupid. But thank you for your comment. I really appreciate you. Like I said, we got a lot of comments here.
Thank God we have someone like Zoran that will stand up for actual Americans against the game show rate clown of a president that is destroying our country.
Dude, this is not a democratic socialist show. Just because we shit on Trump for a couple episodes doesn't mean we're Democrats. We're way further right than that. Yeah, dude, Zoran's a retard. Zoran is a raging retard. He's a fucking moron. And he wasn't even born here. He's not a real American. So fuck Zoran. We're going to go to our next comment, though. We don't need to deal with retards like that.
I work here in California 40 hours a week in a house of 8. I have no kids, live with parents and siblings still, and let me tell you, working next to the Mexican border, my pay is dog shit to what my position is supposed to get. It's also hard ASF too. Save money, I just got a Honda, but man.
Congrats on getting the car, though. That's awesome. I feel for you on the rest of the stuff, especially you're working in California. What's your tax rate? Like 30-some%? That's got to be fucked. Live in a house of 8. Live with your parents and siblings. Nice, big family based. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the pay in California is shit, especially for the hours you work, where you're working. And the taxes are super fucked on it. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. Keep your head up. Keep working hard, keep trying to move up in the world, conceal your power level, trying to get better positions, make more money, make more wealth. You got this. I'm going to pray for you as well. I'll pray for your entire family. And someone responded to their comment. We're going to play that.
Life keeps getting harder every year, and it will continue so long as our country keeps its communist policies. Insurance is a scam. Entitlements. The government forcing people to pay $1,000 for $1 of value. Trapping everyone into poverty, to benefit the few. 90% of our tax revenue, which consists of roughly 75% of everything we earn, is wasted on these. Your generation needs to end both of these, if you want to be successful, whatever it takes.
Yep, that's why we need to conceal our power levels and get into politics and become the politicians in the donor class. And we need to support people like Nick Fuentes who are pushing real America First policies. I appreciate your comment. I'm going to pray for you guys because, yeah, I agree. It's fucking bad, especially for the younger generations who are really, really feeling it. We're going to keep going on to our next comment. Thank you.
Love the show. Dude, listening to the comments from last show. You have a lot of corny Jays watching the show and commenting garbage whining cause their whole narrative of victimhood is crumbling. Keep preaching God's word, my bro, and shutting these parasites the FCK up.
Yeah, just wait till the end of this show when we get to the last thread where you see how fucking seething some of these retards actually are. We got a based woman. We've got a couple based women listeners. Couple based women. And we got another one. We're going to read her comment.
If you thought the circumcision was bad, I wonder what Fidel would think of this passage. A girl of the age of 3 years and 1 day may be betrothed by intercourse, and if a Yavam had intercourse with her, he acquires her thereby, or the passage that says if she was younger than 3 she still counts as a virgin.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, the Talmud says some crazy shit, and they're like, oh, it's rabbis debating about these things. It's like, why the fuck are they debating that? That's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. Let's see. And then, here we go. Here's someone's response.
The Talmud is a massive collection of legal debates, commentary, and ethics written between roughly 200-500 CE. Many sections discuss hypothetical legal cases, not moral endorsement.
Cope. Here's another comment by this guy.
Some passages discuss age of marriage or legal responsibility in ancient societies. Critics often take these lines out of context, ignoring the discussions are not promoting behavior, but analyzing legal consequences in a world where arranged marriages were widespread across many cultures. Rabbinic law creates numerous protections for minors.
Why does the Talmud even talk about a lot of that stuff in the first place? And some of the stuff it says about Jews and Gentiles and like Jesus burning in hellfire and excrement. It's fucking disgusting, a lot of the stuff it says. And then again, like here's where they like try and change the narrative.
In their religion it is considered wrong to engage in this, unlike in Star and Crescent where their own prophet did it.
He's talking about Muslims. And yeah, again, we don't support that Muslims do that. Like, I speak about the Muslim religion a lot and the bad practices. But every time you bring up bad practices in Judaism, they're like, what about the Muslims? It's like, dude, stop. Here we go. Here's Fidel again.
But if you take a verse from the Bible and shove to me and say you see Jews are bad because of this, you're showing me that you're ignorant. Because the Bible is 5 books, we have thousands more to explain it to us. Since it's written by God, it's not the easiest thing for simple people like me and you to understand. So sometimes you can think it's saying one thing, but the rabbis will explain that it's not saying what you think.
Dude, ridiculous cope. Coping.
Christian Fletcher, I was copying the stereotype. I took it down because I barely have any who sees the light like us. So if we're going to show James P. the light, we're going to have to do this together. And Christian Fletcher, love you.
Yeah, you're gonna show me the light of Judaism? Dude, I like, I will die before that happens. I will die before I stop being Catholic. Like, that's ridiculous.
You know what's interesting? You bring down that Jewish law says a 3-year-old can have sex when it just so happens to be the Torah portion of this week and last week. Speak about how my forefather Yitzchak married Rivka at 3 years old, yet if you look in any commentary he actually only got engaged when she was 3, but they waited to have relations for 20 years. It just shows the ignorance in your statements. You know nothing and then you try to come rip on me. You look like a fool.
Did you say they got engaged at 3? Yeah, that's much better. Dude, you're fucking retarded. And this is, here's where we get to the point where we have these fucking crazy Zionist shills defending just disgusting pedophilic practices.
Mitzitza b'perv is not pedophilia. Pedophilia means sexual attraction to children, while MBP is a religious circumcision ritual with no sexual intent. The only concern raised by doctors is infection risk, not sexual abuse. Calling it pedophilia is a false and stigmatizing distortion.
So this guy doesn't think it's pedophilia for a rabbi to put his mouth on a baby's penis after a circumcision. Apparently it's not pedophilia. Dude, you're a fucking idiot. Here's his other comment. And this is where they try and deflect again.
Current religious practice is more dangerous than MBP, faith healing medical refusal, Christian sects, children denied medical care, leading to preventable deaths, firewalking scarification, indigenous folk traditions, burns, permanent scarring, sometimes fatal.
Yeah, at least the guy Christian Fletcher's like, yeah, it should be illegal. He says that at the end, but it's like this guy's saying that it's not pedophilia for a rabbi to put his mouth on a baby's penis after a circumcision. Dude, you are fucking disgusting. You're like, you should be investigated. You are fucking gross. You are so, and if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go to the end of last episode where I talked about what Metzes Bapay or whatever the fuck, where it's a Jewish practice in Orthodox Jews. It still happens even in America where the rabbi will suck the blood out of the baby's penis after the circumcision. Fucking disgusting. We're going to keep going on with the comments. It's so fucking gross, some of the things some of these people defend. Most normal Jews do not defend that shit. I know a lot of Jewish people. Most are like, yo, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking ridiculous. The fact that you're defending it just shows that you're fucking disgusting and should probably be investigated.
The name Shmuley is painful enough to say, but looking at that rat-faced nasty MF with pubic hairs on his face is excruciating.
Yeah, Rabbi Shmuley is ugly as shit, objectively. Here's our woman listener again. We love our woman listeners. Again, I don't necessarily think they should be involved in politics, but we love the women listeners.
Hi James, just curious, since I am a female watcher, do you share the same opinion that women shouldn't be in politics as Nick Fuentes? And if so, what's your opinion on women like myself, who listen in and support both shows? Do you think or know you have a female fan base?
I do know because Spotify shows me analytics and it shows me like 10% of my viewers are women, which I love that. You know, that's awesome. Women need to be red-pilled as well, although I don't think they need to necessarily be involved in like actual government. But my response was, yeah, I do share a similar political opinion to Nick that politics would be better off run by men. I don't have a negative opinion of women. I just think they have a gift that is the most important gift of all. If men had the ability to pop out children, they'd be popping out armies of kids. Most women nowadays don't want to have kids or put it off for too long, especially the white women. We need more kids in this world. Glad the female audience base is growing. I'm always open to discussing these things. And I asked her opinion on it, and then here's her opinion. What's going on? Give me one sec. Here we go.
I agree mostly, in the sense that I believe women should, for the most part, take the maternal roles in society. I don't believe most men are wired to properly raise up children as the maternal or even single paternal figure. There will always be what's considered more feminine men and more masculine women. But I don't think we can ever expect that from the majority of any population. We can allow people into the roles, but we can't expect them to all have the best outcomes or succeed.
Yeah, exact. Based woman right there. Based woman. Somehow this woman is smarter than Fidel and David combined. We're going to keep moving on.
Rabbi Buttplug.
Yeah, Rabbi Shmuley's an idiot. And then he wrote another one.
Help, help, he stole my foreskin, give me back my foreskin, Rabbi Buttplug.
Dude, if Rabbi Shmuley stole my foreskin, beat the fuck out of him. Who the fuck took my foreskin? Who took it? Which one of you fuckers took it? We're gonna keep going on with the comments. Appreciate it. Like I said, we got a lot of comments, so I'm appreciating it. We're almost at the final thread, and the final thread is where like shit really. You see these people really defending the Metzebe Bapay or whatever the fuck their pedophilic ritual is.
Red pilling fiddle can be done. However, it would involve him taking a high dose of psychedelics followed by watching the 12-hour Europa The Final Battle documentary. At the end of it, he would look like that shell-shocked World War II meme.
That's a good meme. Yeah, I mean, I'm normally against drug use, but Fidel, you might need it. You're retarded, Fidel. That might... Rogue Templar, that's your job. Go red pill Fidel. Go give him a high dose of psychedelics and sit him down in front of the Europa video. That'd be funny. Fidel, that's your homework for the night. Go get high as shit on psychedelics and get an ego death, and then watch the Europa doc.
Don't visualize Bill Gates cheating. Whatever you do, it will haunt my dreams forever and ever.
Dude, Bill Gates is a weirdo. Bill Gates is so weird. We're going to go on to our next comment. I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
Matt Walsh should leave DW, but he will probably stay until he pushes the limit too far and they cut him loose.
Yeah. Matt Walsh needs to leave if he wants any credibility in the long term.
Could you imagine how many loopholes to where Matt Walsh would probably have to pay all his salary back? Like Barstool Sports. Same POP.
Yeah, I mean, all the contracts are written by Jewish lawyers. I bet, like, if he says anything anti-Semitic, it's in his contract that he gets to get raped by Ben. They get to pin him down and rape him if he says something anti-Semitic. Here's Fidel. This is our last thread, and then we'll be done with the comments for the day. Like I said, a lot of comments.
Just so happens to be that it actually is healthy to get one. Even Muslims and Christians get them. You could just look it up and stop spewing lies.
Dude. Mutilating babies is crazy. But defending a rabbi putting his mouth on the genitals of a baby to suck the blood out is fucking crazy.
And of course I wanted to continue. I already answered you that something which is religious and you go and target me for that. I can target you for so many stuff you Christians do. Like you want to walk down that path, we can go, no problem.
Yeah, Fidel. Come at me, bitch. Come target me. Come target me and Christians. Cope and seethe, bitch. Like, what kind of vague bullshit? You're in Spotify comments. Yeah, keyboard warrior, how you doing? Come on the show and debate me. How about that, or shut your bitch ass up? Like, fuck off. You want to go down that road? We can go down it. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You're a pussy.
I actually do not think Israel should sign on to the treaty as long as they don't officially say they have nukes, and there are multiple reasons not to say.
What's the reasons not to say? Because every country around the globe would condemn them for it? That there would be massive backlash and repercussions for them hiding it and stealing the United States nukes? What, like, you don't support a nuclear country signing on to the nuclear treaty? Do you think Pakistan should sign on? What's your opinion there, Fidel? It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And this is, again, them, like, trying to deflect.
Your comment was so unhinged it was censored by Spotify. I don't see you complaining about all of things the Quran says.
Dude, go back into previous episodes and watch me shit all over it.
About the other thing, I looked it up. It was something to prevent infection, I think, but did you know in Madagascar they do something even weirder? Look it up.
Dude, does Madagascar have anything to do with the United States? No. Like, can we condemn bad practices there? Yes, but like, this shit is happening on American soil. There are rabbis doing that to children on American soil. Like, fuck off with your trying, like, do you see what they're doing in this country? Like, dude, fuck off. Here's another comment about it. Dude, it's fucking crazy.
The Talmud mentions suction as part of circumcision for health reasons. It does not say it must be done with the mouth. Oral suction became a later custom in some communities. Many Jewish authorities today reject MBP for health and safety reasons.
Dude. What about the millions and millions of babies who got circumcised and didn't have their genitals sucked on by a rabbi and ended up perfectly fine and healthy? It's such a fucking crazy, and you're like, it doesn't have to be done with the mouth, but no, they still do it with their mouth anyway. Like, that makes it even fucking worse. That literally makes it worse. Here's another one.
Circumcision is from the Bible. Do you not believe in that?
Old Testament.
Your leader Nick has said the most immoral stuff ever, and you said you agree with him.
Yeah, I'm fine with people making jokes. I make jokes all the time. I literally made a 5-minute joke that Bibi Netanyahu was raping me and Donald Trump. Fuck off. Again, trying to tone police jokes just makes you sound like a seething pussy.
Wrong title given once again.
I don't even know what that means. Here's Fidel again, though. Every time I read Fidel's comments, I'm just like, this guy's so retarded.
You can't deny something by just saying healthy? I mean, in the olden days, literally you had a cold and the doctor would recommend bloodletting, so for you to laugh shows how unintelligent you are, and they don't put their mouth on it, they use a straw.
Yeah, some use a straw. Like, Fidel, go look up videos of it, because they're online, and you could see them not using straws. And tell that to all the babies who got fucking herpes and STIs. Was that from a straw? No, that was from a rabbi giving them it. Here we go. We're gonna keep going with the thread of these shills.
Historical precedent. Defenders note that MBP has been performed for generations with relatively few documented cases of harm compared to the vast number of circumcisions. Alternative explanations. Some argue that herpes infections attributed to MBP may come from other sources, e.g., family members kissing the baby. Precautions taken. In communities that continue MBP, mahals often undergo health checks, use antiseptic rinses, or claim to follow strict hygiene protocols to reduce risk.
Dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're just you're just outing yourself as like someone who supports pedophilia. You're just fucking disgusting.
I don't think Dave is defending it in the modern age either way. It's something gross but not something uncommon. Also, have you heard what they do in Madagascar? They will literally eat the foreskin.
Dude, like, again, yeah, that's fucking crazy, and that's terrible, and it's disgusting, and we should condemn it, but it's not happening on American soil, so, like, dude, fuck off. This is an American show, you fucking idiot. I can't stand do you know what's happening in Madagascar? Like, dude, this is America, and in America, we have rabbis doing this to kids, and it needs to fucking stop. If I can condemn what the Catholic Church did to children and how fucking terrible that was, they should be able to condemn these terrible practices, but they're not. They're literally defending them in my comments.
The reason why the suck the blood was for medical reasons back then, and now it's just ritual. If you have an issue with it, then too bad. Second, according to Jewish law, a 3-year-old girl is not eligible for marriage. You can hate all day long, but as long as you don't know shit, it's all good because you don't know shit.
Saying it was for medical reasons, but then they figured out it's actually not really a medical benefit, so now it's just ritual. Now it's just ritual for rabbis to put babies' penises in their mouth. Yeah, that's a great ritual. That really helps beat the allegations, you fucking idiot. Dude, like, you guys literally prove my point for me with every fucking post.
I'm sure every rabbi that does it is a pedophile MHM.
Yes,
I'm sorry you can't understand this. That's besides the point that you look like the biggest pedophile I've seen.
Dude, okay. Like, calling me a pedophile, saying, like, I look like a pedophile while defending a rabbi putting a baby's penis in their mouth, like, you're a retard. And this is going to be one of the last ones from this thread.
Current religious practice is more dangerous than MBP, female genital mutilation, FGM, still common in parts of Africa, Middle East, causes bleeding, infection, infertility, lifelong trauma, self-flagellation, practiced by some Catholics, Philippines and Shia Muslims, Ashura, leads to blood loss, infections, scarring, thapusum piercing, Hinduism, skewers through cheeks, tongues, heavy structures attached to skin. Risks include nerve damage and collapse.
Great. Is that happening on American soil? No, it's happening in other countries, like you said. So shut the fuck up about it, you fucking idiots. Yeah, but like the guy, Yosef, who is literally like, you look like a pedophile, but I'm going to defend the pedophiles who are putting babies' penises in their mouth. It's like, dude, fuck off, you retard. You're disgusting. All the people defending this in my comments should literally be investigated. Like, you guys are fucking disgusting. We're going to refresh it, see if we got any more comments before we sign off. I mean, that was painful to kind of get through. Like, a lot of your comments, guys, I loved them. Fidel, David, Yosef, and this new fucking guy, what's his name? Let's see. Christian Fletcher. Dude, all you guys, you're shilling for the wrong shit. Christian Fletcher had some okay comments, but Fidel, David, and Yosef, dude, you guys are fucking disgusting and should all be investigated. You're fucking gross. I don't even want you guys commenting anymore. You're so fucking disgusting. I don't want you guys even watching the show. You're fucking terrible people. Like, actually, I'm going to pray for your salvation and redemption because your souls are fucking lost. Especially you, David. David's really the one who was defending it over everyone, and Yosef. Fidel was pretty bad with it, but not as bad as... Fidel is at least trying to, like... It's not even better, but he's, like, trying to ignore it a little bit, trying to deflect, while Yosef and David are literally like, it's not pedophilia, it's just a ritual. They said it was health reasons, and they found out it wasn't actually healthy because babies started dying from STIs, and there's no point in using the mouth for it. But now it's just a ritual, so it makes it cool. Like, dude, that's, like, literally ridiculous. That's like saying, I don't know, if someone had a ritual, like... No, I'm not even gonna make that comparison. It's so fucking gross. But, dude, that's like saying, like, what Epstein was doing. Like, if it was a ritual, it's okay. Like, no, it's not. You're just a retard. You're fucking disgusting, and you're defending bad practices because it probably happened to you, and you're gonna do it to your future kids, which is sad and disgusting. You guys should not be parents. You guys should be put in jail, honestly, for those. Like, that's fucking gross. Anyone with those beliefs that should happen and continue is fucking gross. Because I know a lot of Jewish people, and almost all of them disavow that and say it's disgusting and it should never be practiced. So the people who are still saying that, you have real fucking issues. And I have no problem saying that or calling you guys out or calling you retards over it, because you really are. That's going to be the entire show for the day, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please remember to rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the show. We'll read the comments from today's show at the end of tomorrow's show. Probably won't be as many as we got today. Hopefully it is. I mean, I enjoy reading all the comments. Not fucking those types. Those really, as you can see, my energy is a little more depleted now after being subjected to that level of retardation. It's fucking miserable having to read terrible, disgusting things like those guys are saying. Fucking terrible. But please remember to like, smash the follow button again, rate the show 5 stars, give us a follow on Spotify, leave a comment, join our Telegram channel, let me know what you think about the show. I'm going to sign off today. Hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed night, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. Thank you.